Excuse me, how courageous are you? Courage is what makes people great. And in this video, the courage to be courageous, I'm going to show you how to develop this attribute so you can move forwards in a way where you achieve your fantastic future. So let's talk about courage. Well, ultimately, if you want to be more courageous, there's a couple of things I want to share with you in this video that will really help you. But first off, what exactly is it? Well, you could open up the dictionary and you could look at the word and you could see that basically what it means is bravery. And how many times in your life have you done something courageous? Something where fear was present. And that really is the first thing I want to share with you in this video, is that to be courageous, really, it is your ability to act in the presence of fear, plus your ability to control fear. And I'm sure there are many people in your life that you've seen them do courageous things, whether it's a firefighter that's rescuing people from a burning building, or someone who stops someone from harming somebody else. Human beings really do have the capacity to be courageous. But unfortunately, I don't think we realize how we can generate it in ourselves. When we look at ancient philosophy and when we look at popular psychology, we see some real common ground. And one of those bits of common ground that we talk a lot about on these videos is the virtues. And the key virtues that we hear time and time again is courage, justice, which is standing up for the rights of other people, wisdom, our ability to learn from others, and our ability to learn from our own experience. And the last one is self-control, our ability to get ourselves to control our attention and do what we say we're going to do. But what's really interesting about the word courage is in its root origin, it actually means the heart. And it is the virtue that pumps life into all of the others. If you want to stand up for the rights of other people, if you want self-control, if you want to be wise, I think ultimately it takes courage to stand up and step forwards and go, you know what, I am ready. And there actually is a term known as courage blindness. And what this really means is that most people don't really appreciate how many times in their life they've done something brave, they've done something bold. And I'm sure that is something that you relate to. And in your life, you've done many courageous things. I would actually say it's actually very courageous to watch this video. Most people that watch things don't watch them for very long before their attention goes somewhere else. And I challenge you to watch it all the way to the end, because I've got something special to share with you. So when we look at courage, I think it's really important to admit where we are right now. Are you where you want to be in your life? Is there room for improvement? And I want to ask you a few questions. Are you a procrastinator? Do you ever think about doing something and then not do it? Do you ruminate, as in you go over and over the same thoughts? Are you someone who makes a lot of excuses? Are you someone who gets distracted? See, starting off to admit where you are, I think is really important, but it's the courage not only to admit it, but it's the courage to actually change. And all of the videos that we do really is to do with your future self, really to help you understand that you don't have to be who you are right now. You can be more, you can be better, you can achieve more, you can have more, but it's having the courage to face that, the courage to be courageous. And I'm going to say something that I don't say this very often, but I really encourage you, and that's what a great coach does, to give you courage. And hopefully through this video, you will start to see, you know what, I could be more courageous. I could become more. I could do more. I could achieve more. So let me ask you this. What will be your greatest ever achievement? Not what has been, what will be. Now, I would like to think that your greatest achievement will be the person that you choose to become. Ultimately, I think everything we do today is actually a vote for the person that we're going to become. Let me say that again. Everything we do today is a vote for the person that we are going to become. There is a future self out there. And if you start to wake up that you can vote for the person that you want to be by doing whatever it is that you need to do, regardless of how you feel. And fear often comes to the party. I don't feel like it. I'm frightened to even think about the person I could become. So let me ask you, in the major life domains, if you've watched any of our videos before, you've seen that we put this up here a lot. This refers to the big three. The big three areas in life that most people would love to improve, especially if they didn't have to do anything, especially if all you had to do was tell me the improvement that you'd want in your health and your energy, your relationships and your wealth and your work. If all you had to do was tell me, and all I had to do was wave my magic wand, most people would tell me, this is what I want. But of course, it doesn't work like that. It actually takes courage to start closing the gaps between where you are and where you could be. So I think the courage to be courageous is to first acknowledge there is a future self. And I think that most people in the world today are actually living a future that they don't want. What does that mean? It's just they don't actually stop and think about the continuation of doing what I'm doing, where that's actually going to take me. I think that also takes a lot of courage to wake up to the fact of where what you're doing is actually going to take you. And what we would love to help you do is to help you identify with the person that you could be in any of those three life domains, that you start acting in accordance to the person that you could be, and then the feelings come last. How many people do you think there are in the world right now who don't feel like doing something? And simply because they don't feel like doing something, they won't do it. We live in a world where we're being sold comfort, we're being sold take it easy, and for most people, just the thought of doing something different to what they normally do brings in some element of fear. So remember, what is courage? It's your ability to act in the presence of fear. It's your ability to control fear. But what you also need to understand, if you're interested in this domain, in developing courage, it's to understand that in our brain, we have two systems. We have the behavioral inhibition system. And this is a part of us that wants us to avoid things that are difficult and challenging, that wants us to stay within our zone of comfort, the zone of who we think we are. It takes courage to move through that. But also the behavior activation system, and this is a part of us that wants us to seek pleasure, seek reward. But most people are seeking reward in a way that doesn't serve a future self. We are behaving in often ways that we might get some pleasure in the moment, but long term, it's not going to pay off for us. And I really ask you and encourage you to take a little bit of time to think about what's really important in my life. Who do I actually want to be? Because ultimately, if you start to see yourself as a hero in your life, that's why we watch these films, right? That's why we watch all these superheroes. Why? Because they have the courage to act in the presence of fear. They are brave. And this is what I'd like you to think of. You being a hero in your own life right now. Realizing that there's so much more to life than what you currently see. You don't have to accept where you are right now. So let's just look at some steps. The first step is definitely to acknowledge where you are right now. You can criticize it. You can say it's wrong or it's right. You are where you are. And there is opportunities for you. Your environment. Does your environment support you? One of the most courageous things a lot of people do is to get themselves into an environment that supports their growth. To vote, to start seeing that every time you do anything that is progressing your life, to see that is a vote for the person that you could become. To celebrate everything that you do. It's all the little things that you do that we often, just at that blindness, that we don't realize the little things that we do. If we celebrate those things, then we also are more likely to redo them. This should actually say the worse you feel. It does say the worse. It doesn't say war, which isn't actually even a word. But it's not about being perfect. The worse you feel, the more committed you should be. That's one of the most courageous things that you will ever do, to identify with where you want to be, to act in accordance to that, and to then let the feelings come. To not be one of those people that says, you know what, I just don't feel like it. That will probably be one of the most courageous things you ever do in your life. And progress, 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 progress. Every single day, make a little progress. Do things that maybe make you feel a bit uncomfortable, that require you to be a bit more courageous. But ultimately, this is what the courage to be courageous is all about. And I challenge you, if you want to take this to a whole new level, literally click on the link below and let me share with you something that we created recently. It's called the Stop One, Start One. It's all about you seeing where you are and picking one thing to stop and one thing to start, as you let me coach you to make breakthroughs in your life, as you start to vote for your future self like never before. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video, and I will see you next time.